Hi everybody, I am Kelly from Dreamery. Today is Tuesday, December 4th, 2012. How many days do we have left until the end of the world? I don't remember. Are you prepared? Are you ready? I'm not. I'm never ready. So, I hope you all had a great week. Mine was pretty good as far as weeks go. I had the best of intentions yesterday to do a video cast outside because yesterday it was 70 degrees and sunny, but by the time that I handled all of my business for the day, it was pitch black at 5 o'clock. I need to move closer to the equator. I can't deal with a lack of sunlight. I really do need to get one of those lamps for my face and just bask in it for a while. But anyway, that's me. What's you? Let's see. I mailed off last night all of the mini skeins of Aurora Borealis for Fat Fiber for their December Fat Fiber box, so they should be getting that soon. I do have a cake of it right here if you're curious about what's coming. It's all caked up because I'm just going to make extra mini skeins and throw it into envelopes for people who are buying my yarn. I did not dye any new yarn this week. I still have a lot on sale. So until more of that gets sold, I won't be dyeing any yarn. Actually, I have some DK yarn and some worsted yarn that needs to be dyed, but I am missing one very important component. I'm not missing it, but I'm worried that I'm going to run out of it during the dyeing process, and it would kind of not be good to run out of it. It's it's my secret recipe. I'm not going to share it with you all, but it makes my yarn look good, so I need it big time. So I'm waiting until Thursday or Friday to be able to buy that, and then once that gets here, I'll dye some more up and I'll show it off to all of you. But when I do dye this, I'm going to dye all of it in the Aurora Borealis colorway, just so that people who get the mini skeins from Fat Fiber and say, ooh, I like this colorway, I sure would like to buy something bigger in this colorway, will have an opportunity to do that. If you didn't catch my other video casts, the yarn and colorway that I sent out last month in December, I was unable to make that colorway for larger skeins. I had run out of the dye, and I thought that when I got in contact to buy the dye from the only distributor in the US of this dye, that I would get the dye, maybe a week and a half, but I got absolutely no response at all. It's December 4th, and I ordered it a month ago. I never got an email. I never received anything. And she's not dead. She's alive. She's on the internet. So I don't understand why she didn't answer my very polite email asking her what's going on. So today is the day that we sent off all of our information about this to PayPal so that I can be refunded through PayPal since she did not refund me for not sending me dye. So anyway, that was terrible. I do have plenty of dye for the Aurora Borealis colorway. It's just the other component that I really need. And the place that I get that from is very reliable, so I know that I'm not going to have any problems with that. So I'm looking forward to dyeing that, actually. It was a lot of fun to dye it, and even my husband, when I'm sitting there winding skeins and, you know, the nitty-knotty and whatnot, he just stares at me, which kind of makes me crazy. And he's like, "Your yarn's so pretty." I was like, "Okay, man." So, you know, maybe I'll give him a skein of it for Christmas. Teach him to knit. Wouldn't that be great? No, he can't knit. He'll never knit. My hair used to be really long. I mean, way long. It was down to just about an inch away from the top of my butt dimples. And sometimes when you have really long hair, what do you do with it? You either put it in a bun, you put it in a ponytail, or you braid it. And so one day I said to him, you know, "Will you come braid my hair?" Because it's so long, sometimes I just couldn't get to the very bottom. I couldn't finish the braid, or I'd just leave it in a giant big fishtail. But he said yes, and he came over and he started, and he's like, "I don't know what I'm doing." It's like, just, you know, put one on top of the other, and then take the one from the bottom, put that on top, put it on top, put it on top. And so finally he goes, "I can't braid hair." And he stomped off out of the room. I was like, okay, I'm never going to ask him for that again. So anyway, if you have children, teach them how to braid. If you have sons, teach them how to braid so that one day they might be married to somebody who says, "I would love it if somebody would braid my hair." And then your child can say, "I'll do it for you." And then they'll be like, "I'm so in love. He braided my hair." Or, you know, just everybody should know how to braid hair, is what I'm saying. Sometimes I go off on tangents and I think, oh my gosh, what if I get pregnant? What if I have a daughter and then I die? And then Chris has to raise her by himself and he doesn't know how to put hair into ponytails and he doesn't know how to braid hair. What's her hair going to look like every day? And I hope somebody is able to take care of her that will be able to help her with beauty products and things like that. I get really weird anxiety about things, which brings me to something else I was going to talk about today. If you haven't watched it yet, Maria Bamford, that's my cat Rocky. He's an anxiety cat. I am in a room without him, and he knows I'm in here, and he knows I'm awake, and he wants to be with me, but he can't, because this is Yarnland, and he is not allowed on Yarnland. I know it sounds really pitiful and stuff, but actually, he just has anxiety. He just wants to be around somebody. He'll get over it. He'll be okay. He'll be alright. But, you know, speaking of my anxiety, speaking of my cat's anxiety, Maria Bamford has a new show. I guess it's a 1 hour show. And you can buy it online at, I think it's chill.com. And she does her 1 hour comedy show in her own house. And her audience is her parents. And it's just a really funny show, especially for me because I can relate to so many of the anxieties that she has. I can relate to how your mind just goes off forever and you can't stop the next thought that's coming. And everything just gets more horrible and more horrible. And that's also why I have insomnia and it takes me forever to fall asleep. So I sleep at weird times, I'm awake at weird times, and it's really inconvenient to interact with the rest of the waking world that I actually live in. The virtual world, there's always somebody. I can go and play WoW or Star Wars and hit up all people from Australia and Japan, and it's all good. Um, but trying to conduct other things in the waking world on the East Coast gets tough. So, anyway, go watch the Maria Bamford show. It's like $5 to download, and it's really funny. And I love that her parents are there in the audience. I don't know if either of my parents are watching these podcasts. It would be interesting, I guess, if they did. I doubt that my children are watching. I doubt that my sister's watching. But you know what? I'm gonna do Miss Sally Romper Room shout out right now. Mom, if you're watching, hello, Mom. Guess what, Mom? I bought Christmas presents for the children last night, and they are going to enjoy those presents. If my dad's watching, hey, Dad, hope you had fun in Disney. If my grandparents are watching, hi, Grandma and Papa. If my sister's watching, hi. I hope that you are having a lovely, godly day. If my children are watching, let's see, Whitney, hi. You're very pretty. I love you. Kyle, hi. I looked at your Christmas list on Amazon and you're definitely going to get some of those things. You're always going to get what you wish for. Jake, if you're watching, I got you something that you wanted off of your list that will ensure that I won't be having grandchildren for a very long time. And I won't say anything more about that. It's kind of evil. I apologize. Okay, so one of the other things I'm going to talk about are hexapuffs because I'm still trying to explain to my husband about fat fiber and why I do the mini skeins. And he said, what are they going to do with tiny scraps of yarn? And I said, hexapuffs. And he said, what are hexapuffs? And maybe you don't know what hexapuffs are. So I have a bag of hexapuffs. This is a bag I got at Old Navy like 5 years ago for $2. It's a great bag. So this is just Kool-Aid dyed yarn, self-striping yarn. Oh my gosh, when I decided to dye self-striping yarn, that was such an adventure because we were living in a 2-bedroom apartment at the time and we had the yarn just strung out all over the apartment. It was a calamity. I am now aware of warping boards and things like that, And maybe sometime in the future I'll do it again, but I'm definitely going to need a solid plan before I do it because I don't want the string massacre that occurred when I did that in the apartment. This is just some socks that rock. I don't even remember what colorway this is. It's from a long, long time ago. And I had to make mini skeins out of it because the yarn actually broke in like a lot of places. It was weird. It was very weird, very odd. Let's see what else. Just some cute pink koigu stuff. I really like koigu yarn. So, and that's why I was surprised that he didn't know when I told him what hexapuffs were, because in February of this year I had a big old plan. I was going to make a hexapuff blanket for our queen size bed, and I was already doing the math on it, like, okay, so I need 800 of these things. I'm going to have to spend how much in yarn to do that? And how much money is that going to be? And so I kind of sort of told him, but I guess he wasn't really paying attention at the time. So I just have a little tiny bag of hexapuffs. And I thought I'd show that. So I have like maybe 10, 12 hexapuffs altogether. I'm not going to get anywhere on that in a long while. Maybe someday. Maybe, well, I still have to finish Whitney's blanket. And then if either of my children decide that they are buying a home or something like that, I plan to knit a blanket for either of them. So those are my two big blanket projects before I would ever really get into doing a hexapuff blanket, I think. That's my plan. Okay. What else do I have to show you? Did I get anything knit this week? I did. Oh, it's Hugo. He's escaped from monster prison. And he's living the thug life. Oh, Hugo. Oh, Hugo. No. So, this is the For Good hat that I knit to participate with Megan for Stockinette Zombies. This pattern was written um, to help raise money for women's awareness for drugs, things like that. Her sister possibly died from taking medication that was FDA approved, but it was still a very risky medication and probably shouldn't have been approved in the first place. So Megan researched to find the best charity to donate to so that research will be more stringent, I guess, to make sure that things like this don't happen. Last week I had mentioned about my aunt dying, and there was a possibility that she had been taking fen-phen before she died. But we didn't look into it. But I do understand that kind of pain. But I finished it. I knit this in just Patton's Classic Merino that I had laying around. You can see it. I kind of screwed up a hole here, but it's all good. And then this is an Arbor Vitae button from Piamatum Crafts. It's on Etsy. I will link to it so that you can find it. It's wooden buttons, and they're really neat. They're very smooth. I'm just kind of like tripping out every time that I look at the wood rings because it's just. Check that out. How cool is that? That is like awesome to me. I never would have thought of using wood to make, well, not wood to make buttons because, I mean, there's plenty of wooden buttons out there, but just to use ones cut directly from sticks and make them look cool, I think is really neat. So, anyway, I knit the hat for Stockinette Zombies. If you're interested, the pattern is on Ravelry, and there is a knit along for it. And if you knit the hat and post a picture, there's a good chance that you can win a skein of sheep Dreamery worsted yarn in the Aurora Borealis colorway. So, you might want to get on that. It's for a good cause. What else do I have to talk about? So Knit Pearl Girl died last week, and the family requested that people create snowflakes for them to put on their Christmas tree because when they had moved, they had lost all of their, I guess, knitted or crocheted snowflakes, Christmas ornaments, and just before Carrie died, that's what she was doing. She was knitting more to be able to put on the tree this year. So I attempted, with the best of intentions, to make a snowflake, but it didn't go very well at all, as you can see. I don't know how I messed up so bad, but I did. I totally messed up on this. This is the worst thing I've ever made with the best of intentions. It's like that episode of The Cosby Show where Theo has his sister knit him a sweater, and it's all insane. This is all insane. And I know that there's just no way that I'm going to be able to knit a proper one in time and get it mailed in and sent to the family. So instead, I'm just buying Carrie's patterns and gifting them to people as help in that way, because they are still able to get funds through there. So I feel bad that I failed so bad, and I'm trying to make up for it. So I did that. And today's Tuesday. Tuesday is Random Acts of Pattern Day. And that's also to celebrate one of Carrie's ingenious ideas is on Tuesdays on Ravelry. Find somebody who has a pattern in their queue that is also in their wish list and buy it for them. Have the Random Acts of Pattern Fairy just come by and ching, you get a gift. Knit it. So I was fortunate enough today to receive a random active pattern from Boutros Babe. She also runs HighlandHandmaids.com. She has really neat stuff. She's an indie dyer, but she focuses more on fiber stuff. And you may have noticed that I do not dye fiber, I dye yarn. One of the reasons that I dye yarn and not fiber is because I've never actually worked with fiber, and I'm very uncertain about if I dye. I mean, I could dye stuff a solid color, but I think that's kind of boring. Um, so I'd like to dye like really unique things, but because I haven't actually worked with fiber, I have no idea how it would wind up looking after people spin it and then knit with it. So I feel like I should leave that to other people to do. I should leave that to other experts. Sometimes you'll read books about dyeing, and people are like, embrace your creativity, do it however you think it needs to be. Well, if you've never worked with it in the first place, it's really hard to decide whatever you think it needs to be because you don't have a clue of how it would be. When you're dyeing yarn, you have a better idea of, oh, this is going to turn out variegated, oh, this is going to be self-striping, oh, this is going to be a completely solid, or this is going to be a semi-solid. With fiber, I'm kind of intimidated and terrified, and I don't want to make anything that people would be like, oh, isn't that nice? You dyed fiber. Oh, that's so nice. And then they walk away. Holy crap. Did you see that? So I don't want to do that. So I leave the fiber dyeing to other people. But thank you very much for the pattern, Boutros Babe. And the pattern that she gave me is the Goth Cowl, which is a pattern that is done by Sadie Ruin. And Sadie Ruin is the only other knitter on Ravelry who loves Coheed and Cambria. We're a rare breed, which is kind of weird. I mean, I think most people who knit are kind of geeky and stuff like that, and Coheed and Cambria's albums and songs are based on a whole story. It's a space rock opera. I mean, how can you not be into that? They do comic books. Actually, um, I'm really excited because there's going to be a Cincinnati Comic Con next year in October, I think. And I'm so excited because Claudio Sanchez and his wife will be one of the guests at the Cincinnati Comic Con. So I'm very excited about that. Very excited. But, I mean, I don't know, there's like a lot of Doctor Who fans out there. If you like Doctor Who, you should be able to get into Coheed and Cambria's music. It all relates to his story that he's written, which are based on the characters Coheed and Cambria, a husband and wife, and their adventures. Um, I will leave it at that because the story revolves in different ways, and I don't want to get spoilery about it. If you actually do take the time to go ahead and read and listen and things like that. But it's really good music. You've probably heard them before and didn't even realize that you heard them. Claudio Sanchez has kind of a unique voice. It's gotten a little rougher over the years, but it's still very intriguing music to listen to. And like I said, it's a space rock opera. You should be listening. Okay, so I'm very excited to knit the goth cowl that Sadie Ruin wrote, and she had some good news the other day, and so I know that today is going to be quite a day for her. And so I hope that her day turns out good. I hope that she's able to say the things that she wants to say to people who have done her wrong. You know? Sticking up for her there. Okay, what else was I going to talk about? Oh, okay. I don't know about you guys, but I sometimes tangle yarn. And sometimes when I tangle yarn, I get really into untangling it. So last week, I did some untangling of some It's Glitzy yarn that was severely, severely tangled. It took me about 3 months and then 26 hours to get it untangled. Sometimes I enjoy the challenge of it. The next thing that I'm about to untangle is more glitz yarn. This giant mess. I do have a ball right here, but it's gonna take a while. And one of my weird things about me is that I kind of enjoy doing that. And if you've ever seen The Hurt Locker, Jeremy Renner's character is a soldier who goes in and detonates bombs before they go off. Am I using the right word? He prevents bombs from going off. And he really gets into it. He's very good at it. That's the thing for him to do that kind of helps him work through all of these other things that are going on around him that he's trying to deal with. And so detangling yarn for me is one of my hurt lockers. I don't like anybody else trying to talk to me while I'm doing it. I get really focused and concentrate on it quite a bit, and I like the challenge of it. And when I get it done, I just feel like I rock. I don't feel like I saved anybody's lives or anything like that, but it's a good feeling to have a puzzle like that in front of me and be able to figure that out. And it's way easier than math for me. So maybe, you have your one thing that you like to really concentrate and focus on that isn't just knitting, but is a challenge that you like to get into and kind of helps you deal with everything, and when you finish it, you feel great. So if you do have something like that, I'd love to hear about it, talk about it in my forum. That's on Ravelry. I do have one there. Stop by, introduce yourself, say hi, say hello, be friendly, that kind of thing. And one of the reasons why I started to do yarn dyeing is because of the arthritis that I have in my hands, especially this hand. It's getting really bad. Like this morning, I was trying to brush my teeth and I could barely hold the brush in my hand at one point, and it was like, how else? I'm doing like this to try to brush my teeth to get things going because my hands get so crippled and tired, and sometimes they just kind of hang like this, and I can't do anything else with them. Um, so, over the summer, I had been doing a lot of working out, a lot of exercise. I'm actually on Fitocracy, and I'm Kelly there. I'm pretty sure my name is Kelly over there. I'm friends with Lolly and a few other people on Rivalry, so if you're on Fitocracy and you see the name Kelly, go ahead and friend me. I really need to get back into working out. At one point, I was biking 30 miles a day, and now I'm doing jack crap. Um, so I need to get back into it. um, my arthritis is so bad that my kettlebell has dust on it. Every once in a while, I'll walk by. I leave the kettlebell in the middle of my room so that I walk by, bend down, pick it up, go, woo! I did my kettlebell. And then I set it back down for the day and feel like I accomplished something. But let's face it, it's a 15-pound kettlebell. What did I really do? I'd get more calories wasted by going ahead and just vacuuming, you know? So, anyway, I just thought it was funny that, yep, kettlebell's got dust on it. Dusty, dusty, dusty. I was challenged on Sunday night. Um, Girl Cave Bags had a shop update at 9:30, and I hesitated. If I did not hesitate, I would have been able to buy the bag that I wanted because it had the what's it called? Fox Hollow Pink Wonderland or Pink Woodland fabric made out of it. I hesitated. I shouldn't have hesitated. I should have just gone for it. I missed it. So I'm a little sad about that. But then I realized, oh, I have other people in my family who can sew. Actually, my cousin Connie is a designer. She lives in Little Rock, Arkansas, and she's very good friends with a certain former First Lady and Secretary of State. And so I said, Connie, I really like this bag. I'd really like a bigger bag. Do you think maybe if I sent you the fabric and the pattern for the bag that you could sew it up for me? Yep. So sometimes I forget these kinds of things. Like, oh yeah, you've got a cousin who can sew. Who can sew so well that a first lady wore something made by her to an inauguration. Uh, so, anyway, I'm looking forward to that. What else? Oh, okay. Because I'm a knitter, but I'm still new in a lot of ways to the knitting community. And just so a lot of times I don't always know the things that other people are talking about when they talk about them on videocasts and podcasts. And one of those things is called a spring fling. Apparently, it's a gathering with very limited slots, so people are in a lottery to be able to win a slot to even attend in the first place. And it's supposed to be a very magical event. So I thought, okay, this might be something that I could do. So we'll wait and we'll see, and maybe I will win a spot. Wouldn't that be neat? To be in Colorado. I love Colorado. Oh my gosh, the first time I went to Colorado, I couldn't believe it. It was. I grew up on the East Coast, so I had always been very familiar with the Appalachian Trail of mountains. But when you actually get to see the Rockies, for me, it was so surreal. I was just kind of like, oh, that is something that is actually something. It's not just a thing that I see on TV and in movies. This is real, real, real. So I love Colorado. I loved going there. Actually, when I was really little, um, I had a big dream when I was 4 years old. I was going to marry my Uncle Bill, and we were going to live on a horse farm in Colorado. Unfortunately, Uncle Bill joined the Marines, met a wonderful lady, and had a son. So, my dream died. It went far, far away, but he's still my favorite uncle. Um, so, anyway, I'm going to try to see if maybe I can win a spot in the spring fling. It looks like fun. I had no idea what SSK was. People keep talking about SSK, and people keep talking about they went to Knittin' in the Mitten. And I'm like, I don't know what these things are. And everybody just talks about them as if everyone else already knows what they're talking about. So I had to do some research and find out. My big plans for next year are definitely to attend Maryland Sheep and Wool and Rhinebeck. Um, I I have no delusions that I would be able to be one of the people that would have a spot selling my yarn at either of those. Um, girl, that's not going to happen yet. Um, but I will definitely be attending the Maryland one. And this is actually the first one that I can attend because one of my sons, his birthday is on May 6th. And every year it seemed like, okay, this is the year I'm going to get to go to Sheep and Wool. Nope, Jake's birthday. So Jake's going to be 21 next year. I think I don't necessarily have to be there on his birthday. Maybe he can just hang with friends. Maybe I can just drop a cake off and say, bye, I love you, I'm going to Maryland. And then trot on out. So I'm looking forward to going to that. I'm looking forward to going to Rhinebeck and just experiencing that. Although it seems like it rains there every year. I don't know. But those are my two big plans, are just to attend Maryland Sheep and Wool and Rhinebeck. We'll see how that goes. What else? What? Last thing I really have is what I am knitting for one of my sons for Christmas. Kyle, if you're watching, you're gonna ruin your own present. Anyway, if you can't tell, this is a weeb. And this is Gnome Acres Buddy the Elf worsted. And there's a knit along going in Knittables and Gnome Acres for November to December to knit stuff. So this is what I'm knitting, and this is by I'm so sorry. Why am I forgetting your name? J-Knit-Ma. 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 Stockinette Zombies. Um, it's her pattern, and I am obviously not finished with it. I am waiting for some felt to arrive because this is going to be a Buddy the Elf zombie. But I'm actually going to get felt and make a little hat because when you buy the Buddy the Elf um, yarn, it comes with a red feather. So it really needs a hat to go with it. And then I still have to decide on the buttons that I'm going to put on it. I don't know if I'm going to use more of those really cool wooden buttons or if I'm just going to do some amigurumi. Is that how you pronounce it? I have some of those. So we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, I have a colander full of rocks. If you want some rocks from Ohio, give me a call. I'll toss them in an envelope for you. I went out on a Sunday afternoon while it was raining and picked up rocks to put in the bottom of the weeb so that they wouldn't blow over. But that's about it for me for this week. I hope you all are having a great week. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Saturday is Hanukkah, and Saturday is also my anniversary. I'll be married to my husband for 8 years on Saturday. So it's a big day of celebrations, what with Hanukkah and an anniversary. So I am looking forward to a good time. Whatever that good time might be. I don't know what it might be yet. But thanks for watching, and thanks for tuning in. And I hope I entertained you. If I didn't, I'm very sorry, and I will work harder on that. And come participate in my forum. Come say hi. Come say hello. Oh, and buy my yarn. All right. I will see you all next week. Have a great week.